Breaking news regarding the Secret Service investigation into the bag of cocaine found inside the White House. I want to bring in NBC's Kelly O'Donnell at the White House and NBC's Ali Vitali on Capitol Hill. Kelly, what do we know this morning?
Well, the mystery, Jose, will remain a mystery. Sources have been providing us an update on the investigation, and now the Secret Service has also put out a formal statement. The testing that was done on this small plastic baggie of cocaine, which was found inside what I would call a working entrance of the White House on West Executive Avenue. It was found Sunday evening, July 2nd. Testing has been done for DNA, for fingerprints, and nothing was found of a forensic nature that can be used to compare to the list of individuals that the investigation determined had access to that area. Sources tell me they went through the entrance logs and video and were able to compile a list of several hundred people who in the preceding days prior to that Sunday evening had been through that location. Now, that location on the ground floor is on the way to the Situation Room, but at the moment, that Situation Room is not in use. It's undergoing construction, and a separate alternative Situation Room is being utilized elsewhere, not in the White House, but across in the Executive Office building. So a limited universe of people who would be going through there, but a large one, because on weekends and after hours, there are staff-led tours that can bring in family members, friends, and so forth to see parts of the West Wing. They use that entrance. Contractors use that entrance, employees, and so forth. So they compiled a large list of individuals, and there was video of the passageways and people walking about, but there was no usable video focused on the storage cubbies in that secure area where a visitor would put a cell phone or electronic device before going deeper into the West Wing. So that means after about 10 days of looking at this, using 2 federal labs, including one at Fort Detrick, which checked to make certain this had no biological weapon-like substance. It was, in fact, cocaine. That was determined. And the FBI crime lab, which used sensitive and advanced fingerprinting technology. They were not able to come up with usable information. So today, officials from the Secret Service briefed lawmakers on Capitol Hill, some of them already not finding that satisfactory, that there was no answer. Also, in the course of the investigation, they reviewed what has happened over the last few years. And I'm told that they had 2 incidents where a small amount of marijuana was detected, and the individual who would have brought that was not able to come on the ground. In the District of Columbia, marijuana became legal, but not in federal locations. So in terms of have there been past instances where illicit drugs were found at the White House, officials tell me in the last several years where they have checked back on records, there is no indication of that. Also, separately, the White House pointed out that the Biden family was not there that weekend. They, of course, want to head off the political argument that this could have somehow belonged to Hunter Biden, who had a past cocaine addiction, substance abuse problem. The White House has made clear that he was not there from Friday evening through Tuesday when that was found. And beyond that, family members typically don't use a working entrance.